Okay, so a couple updates before I start this video. I just want to say I got this merch, Smosh merch. Love Smosh. Watched him like 24/7. Uh, and yeah, this hood actually fits me, which is a rare thing for hoodies. The hood usually like it's tight, so it like looks up here. No, this hood, it's perfect. This shit is what I want from a hoodie. 10 out of 10. Okay, so this new Frostbite album, I love it. I really, really love it. But the only issue is I can't justify why I like it so much. And so I'm going to try something different. Instead of doing my first reaction, because it's a little late to do that, and instead of doing a standard review, because I can't justify what I like about the album, instead, I'm going to do a reaction, which is going to be just listening to the album on camera. Whenever something I like comes up or a point comes up, I'll talk about it. And yeah, here we go. Let's change camera angles because I don't want to sit like this forever. For the few people watching this and wondering, yes, I have a Nintendo 3DS. I love this shit. I bought it when I was depressed. Basically, I was mad because I went to Walmart to buy some tools to fix my bike because the handlebars shift around constantly and it's really unsafe to ride. But I went up there, bought 2 sets of wrench heads. Not a single wrench head fits for my fucking bike handles. So now I just have a bunch of fucking wrenches. So I was pissed. So I went to the Mega Replay, the greatest game store on the planet, and I bought this, and I bought Super Mario 3D Land and Super Smash Bros. Because those are both essential games for the 3DS. If you disagree, you're a bitch. Also, I spent like $35 on a Nintendo eShop card so I could buy Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. Honestly, at first I was hesitant because I didn't know the difference between Shovel Knight, the original one, which is the one that I played at first and I fell in love with, and this other one, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. The only difference is that Spectre of Torment, Plague of Shadows, and the other game you can do is free, and you don't have to beat the game before playing those other ones, which is pretty cool because I don't really want to play through the Shovel Knight main story again, not because it's bad or anything, just because the game is hard as fuck, and I don't want to have to do that to experience these other games when I have so many things in my real life I have to do, like make videos, work at a real job to get actual money, work on music so I can work on getting actual money through that. Just a quick update on my life. So the center track starts off, pretty mellow, builds up. Then you get the vocals, and honestly, it's the most straightforward and most emotionally deadpan that I think he's been. I don't mean that in a bad way, because honestly, usually deadpan delivery sometimes it gets boring. Here, I think it works. I think that the deadpanness helps to show the emptiness of emotion and helps to show his state of mind while he's writing this and what he's going through before this. It's really, really good. Have you never felt at home? Lies are dry and full of grief. My friend died even know D. Never felt at home. My eyes dry but full of grief. These are some very deep and emotionally vulnerable topics he's talking about, and you just have to commend him for it, because not only is it just he's putting himself out there for everyone, but it's also well written, it's also well structured, and I don't want to say there's not a whole lot of people out there that do that, but like, there's not a whole lot of people out there that do that consistently and put out good projects consistently like this guy does. I know he's relatively new to the rap game and he hasn't had enough time to put out a revival or based on this track alone, I think he can go a long way. I don't know how someone can hear that flow at the start of I Wonder and not instantly like the track. I mean, yes, I understand the first, like, triplet flow or whatever he does at the very start, like the very first flow before he switches it up, is a little choppy. Other than that, it's just an onslaught. I know my days are the same, man. I wonder if it's okay. As much as I do like the lyrical themes and concept and the flow on this one, I do think the beat is a little bit drab. I do think it's not as bad as the worst beats on Clipped Wings, for example, but, like, it's just kind of boring. It sounds like elevator music. And that was an issue I had with the Unusual Demont record, with Pine having, like, such an elevator beat-esque, like, type. It was just boring. This beat not every track has to be a banger or anything. I just feel like when you're coming this strong lyrically, the beat should like match up with that, or like have something. I don't know. It just sounds like you're in an elevator freestyling at this point.
Party with the day wall started to replay.
Let me go back. I love that.
If it's okay. Party what you say. Party with the day wall.
This track has a great transition for the last one. Like, it's seamless. It sounds like the last track hasn't even stopped and that this is just a continuation of that. It's not. It's the next track. But it's not even hard to do. I know that. But it always amazes me when someone does it, just because it's like you took the effort, you put the time in to make it flow seamlessly like that. I don't do that. It's amazing.
While I'm passionate on songs, acting on these qualms while my masters stay at home. Had to learn to grow, ask where I fall.
I really love the beat on this one. I really love the flow. But the lyrics are easily the most ear-catching part of it. Not because everything else is just down there and trash and garbage and stop fucking doing it. No, because the lyrics are just about, being, like the title says, being chained by what you prayed, being held down by your issues, by being controlled by the things that are literally inside of your head that aren't even real. My ex fucking left me because I am just,
For some days, it's chained by what I prayed. Yeah. By what I prayed.
Oh, this was the first thing I did in the morning, man. I opened your email. Yo. So let me record for this guy. Trying to forget the past, so I blow this grass. All these demons on my mental harass me. See where I'm from, we numb the pain. I don't wanna feel it no more. Fill me up with Novocaine.
this guy's the only feature on the album. He's not garbage. But can I please get a version without him?
Rap is an extension of my consciousness. It's pure bliss when I spit. Pure bliss when I...
It is not pure bliss when you spit, Blue Rivers. I don't know if you rap normally, or I don't know if you have music of your own, but after this verse, it doesn't really make me want to check it out because your rhyme scheme is so slanted, your flow is all over the place, not in a good way. At least the recording quality is good, the mix of it is good, I guess the theme of it is good. I don't like this guy's verse. This track would be, up there as one of the best Frostbite tracks if this guy was not on it. This guy just takes from it. I think Frostbite could have added, another verse, a better feature, something. This track is just not it because of this guy. This track is an 8, 9 out of 10, possibly 10 out of 10 without this guy. But he comes on and he takes it down 5, 6 notches. Fuck Blue Rivers. Hold on. That was another See, this is exactly what I mean by the fucking transitions on. This is what I mean. The transitions are so smooth. If I wasn't paying attention and I wasn't doing a review right now, I probably wouldn't even know that it transitioned to another song. Because honestly, it just sounds like a beat switch. It just sounds like, hey, this is what we're doing now. It's fucking good.
When I lie awake, my thoughts in another solar system tried to fix mistakes, but each ply added older wisdom. Nights I thought it gave the darkness turned into my colder vision.
This one is just another lyrical barrage. I like it. It's not lyrical spiritual miracle or anything. I hate that bullshit. But this is just a song that you just sit back and listen to. You just sit back, absorb its message and stuff. Because, honestly, it's a lot to take in. This is basically a better iteration of one of the other tracks from Clipped Wings. I can't remember the name right now, but it was definitely one of the highlights for me. I can't think of it right at this moment. I'll play a clip. But this one is about, wanting to get out of the problems and how sometimes it feels like you're out of that mindset or you're out of that problem at the moment, but it just comes back later, and it comes back worse, and I can definitely relate to that. Me personally, right now, I am in a recession. Like, my ex left me. I felt like shit. I'm starting to love myself again, and I consistently feel pretty good most of the time. But I know that it's just gonna go back to feeling like shit and suicidal rampage and another manic state of mind, and it's just gonna come back again. So I can definitely relate to this cycle that he's talking about.
Send more swarms into the rain then. Hoping things would change. And the storms I'm always chasing.
Just a small point I want to bring up, because it's been like a consistent theme throughout this album, is the minimalist production. It's not like dial-it minimalism. Still pretty simple production that's really, really effective. I'm opposite, on the other hand. Like, my music, I will produce and produce and produce. Like, this one track I have on my upcoming mixtape, yes, this is a plug, it literally has like 8 different vocal samples layered on top of one another at one point. I think it's really cool. Yes, I just plugged my own music. Shut the fuck up. But that's something I like about Frostbite's music. It's relatively simple on the production side so that his vocals and his lyrics can shine through. And it really works here. Static, okay, what are we getting? Another switch. This track, Born and Raised, I can really relate to. Again, I think Frostbite and me just share similar problems. This one, especially some bars in the middle, have talked about like different coping mechanisms he's tried, and how sometimes even when writing and music is healthy, sometimes it's just not enough, and sometimes you just really feel like the only way out is to get out of your body, to die, to fucking kill yourself. Like, I feel that a lot. Like, I have definitely felt that a lot. I literally went to a mental hospital, and a lot of stuff really happened, and I disappeared for like a year and a half because of those suicidal thoughts, and the rage just got so bad. This track is not a whole lot to note, except for the production, which does have this string ensemble thing, sample, which sounds really, really film-like, and a lot of the production does sound inspired by old cinema, like old Shogun films. Not as inspired like Wu-Tang stuff, but it's noticeable. This track, Jaded, I'm not as crazy about. Probably my least favorite? No, that Blue Rivers feature is my least favorite. It's not as centered on depression, I don't think, but it still doesn't feel too far out from the rest of the project to where it's jarring. I will say on the mixing end, there's a lot of static. I don't know if that's intentional, but in between vocals, it sounds weird. Like, I just need another hit, and then there's a pause with the extra amount of static, and then comes back in, I just need another hit. That could be intentional. I'm pretty sure it's intentional. It's just a little uneasy, I think. Again, I think it's intentional. I don't know, I just don't like it that much. I don't like that it's not as comforting for the ears, which is probably the point. I'm gonna just shut up. Okay, that track just stops. Let me... Okay.
He be looking out the window, wonder where we're wrong, then he sighs, sees the hook, and does the signals going from the ball.
So there's not much to say about this track. Main theme is just, I wish I could smile more. I miss my smile. I relate to that. It's hard for me to smile nowadays, too. Then again, I never had Pearly Whites. Then the last track is literally like a sample looped a few times. I mean, it's kind of funny to try and pick out what this girl says, but other than that, nothing really noteworthy. This track just feels like closing credits. It helps add to the cinema-like quality of the entire thing. Nothing really noteworthy. I probably won't revisit it a whole lot unless I'm listening to the full project. But it does its job. Overall, this new Frostbite album, I was running for my life but fell over my feet. Pretty good. I give it a 9 out of 10. I think he can still do better because anyone can improve over anything. Anything can be improved upon. This album, 9 out of 10. Would recommend. You don't listen to it. Get the fuck out my life. I was gonna rhyme there, but I couldn't think of anything. Alright, just bye. Check out my mixtape, actually. Check out my mixtape once that drops. I don't know when it's dropping, but it's dropping soon. Hopefully. Well then, see ya!